Yes, it is. It's a Tuesday night, and it is Chris's Corner. I am back, and I am better than ever. Feeling good on this Tuesday night. Partly because my Halos finally won. Not that that matters. They're probably not going to make it to the playoffs, but it's nice to see them. As I'm looking at my TV right now, I'm seeing Angels 5, Red Sox 3, final. I know the Red Sox are a mess, but a win's a win, especially at this time of the year. But, welcome in, Spreaker.com, Chris's Corner. Half an hour show we got for you guys today, so I'm very excited about that, and I hope that you are excited about it as well. And there's a lot to get to in a little bit of time, so I want to start with what I think is, kind of fun. Like, I think that Roger Clemens trying to make a comeback, it's kind of fun. The 7-time Cy Young Award winner, guy hasn't pitched in the league in 4 or 5 years. Guy just got done with all that stuff in court about steroid use and finally got it to go his way. And now he wants back in. Let's hear what Roger had to say earlier at his press conference. He's going to be playing for the Independent League Sugarland Skeeters. That also the same team that Scott Kazmir plays on. Of course, we all remember Scott Kazmir was dominant lefty for the Rays and part-time with the Angels for a couple years, but then just really fell off. But let's see what Roger had to say earlier at his press conference. The technician around here, I swear. Benito, get on it. Alright, here we go.
I've been to the major leagues and back a couple of times, and I've retired and unretired. So this, I wouldn't even consider thinking about that far ahead. I've got to get through Saturday. I'm nowhere near where I would need to be to really compete like I want to. I'm going to get sore. I'm sore after throwing the other day. So I'm 50 years old. So we're just going to go out and have fun with this and make it fun for the fans.
So you heard it there, Roger Clemens. I hope you could hear that clear enough. It didn't seem like it was coming in, but basically he said he's just doing it for fun. I put that in quotation marks because yesterday Nolan Ryan said that he wouldn't be surprised to see him in a Houston Astro uniform before long. Of course, Roger, 50 now, pitched for the Astros along with the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Yankees, just to name some of the teams he was a part of. 7-time Cy Young Award winner. So, I think it would be really, really fun to see him back pitching, especially for a team like the Astros. I mean, don't throw him into Don't throw him into the fire. Don't put him on the New York Yankees, kind of like Andy Pettitte. Although Andy Pettitte's younger and lefty, more deceptive, have an advantage a little bit if you're Pettitte. But I honestly think it would be really fun to see Roger Clemens don a MLB uniform one more time, and then maybe we could call him the Brett Favre of baseball. Chris's Corner, Spreaker.com. If you want to leave a comment, that's what I was going to get to. See that little green thing? Just no messages yet on the little chat thing, but leave a question for me. Leave a comment. Text me. Call me, 562-481-9445, 562-481-9445. And then if you don't feel like commenting on here or calling or texting me, which I completely understand, you might want to hit me up on Twitter. You might want to follow me on Twitter. That's at MLB Insider Chris. At MLB Insider Chris. So, everybody, hop on that Twitter, follow me. I'll follow back if you give me a good enough reason to. I'm approaching 300 followers, minor radio show host, insider. That's what I'm heading for, and the fans on Spreaker.com appreciate it. Second show on Spreaker, so I'm really excited about this opportunity, and national sports has been great throughout the process. And check out our page and check out our upcoming radio times. And shout out to the 650 San Mateo. I see you. All right. MLB. We're getting into the we're pretty much past the dog days. You could put us past the dog days. It's August 21st, and we're officially in the stretch run. Most of the division races, other than the National League East, the AL Central, and the National League West, most of those races are pretty figured out. I mean, if you go down the American League and National League standings, Tampa Bay's charging hard at the Yankees, by the way. So they're only 4.5 back. Don't discount them, but I still think New York has a definite upper hand in that division. So I think New York has the East locked up, but you can never be too certain with Tampa Bay, especially at this time of year. We all saw what happened last year. Chicago Sox only a half a game up on the Tigers. Texas has got the West pretty much locked up, 6 over Oakland, 9 over the Angels. Washington, it's been getting further and further between them and Atlanta. They're in a series right now. Washington with a walk-off win last night. We'll get you to the score of that game momentarily, but Washington a 6-game lead on Atlanta. That only can grow from here, in my opinion, even if the Nationals shut down Steven Strasburg, who is on the bump tonight against the Braves, but we'll get to that score in a second. Cincinnati pretty much has the Central locked up, 6.5 over Pittsburgh, 8 over St. Louis. But the interesting division that I think is going to be neck and neck, back and forth, and they're actually playing each other right now. Giants won last night, and that's why they lead by a half a game right now over the Dodgers. So, it's going to be interesting to see that. Even with Melky Cabrera out for the rest of the regular season and the first 5 games of the postseason, or something like that, first 4 games, I think that the Giants still overall have a better team. They definitely have better pitching. Starting and bullpen, definitely strengths for the Giants that the Dodgers don't have. I'll give the Dodgers the upper hand in hitting, and just barely. I mean, I think that it was pretty much even when Melky was playing, but I think that's a big loss for them, even if he was on steroids. Well, he obviously was, but he was still a good player, during the rest of the season. You get what I'm trying to say. But, I mean, you go down the lineup, you got Victorino. Kennedy is in there tonight for the Dodgers at second, batting second. Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, Hanley Ramirez, James Loney, Luis Cruz, and A.J. Ellis. So, I mean, you look at that lineup and you say, okay, the bottom of the lineup gets a little bit weak with Loney and Cruz. Ellis is a decent catcher, hitting catcher. But then you look at the Giants lineup and you can definitely see there's more beef. Just barely, in my opinion, there's a little bit more beef in the middle of the Giants order, just because, you start off with Pagan, you have Scudero, you have Sandoval, you have Posey, you have Pence, but then it drops off for the Giants as well, as they round out with Sanchez, Blanco, Crawford, and the pitcher spot. So, I'm not taking anything at all away from guys like Kemp, Ethier, and Hamram in the middle of that order, but I think hitting-wise, just on a consistent basis, definitely I think the upper hand goes to the San Francisco Giants. Let's get to some scores now, and then we'll get back to the wild card standings in a second. MLB scores. There is only... How many finals are there? There's only 4 finals, and those all kind of, except for the Rockies-Mets game that nobody cares about, those all kind of impact the wild card race. Kansas City beat Tampa Bay 1-0 in 10 innings. The Angels beat the Red Sox 5-3, and the Tigers beat Toronto 5-3. So obviously we're going to have to see what happens with Baltimore, who's involved in that AL wildcard race, and Oakland as well. Baltimore leads Texas at Texas 5-1. That game in the bottom of the 7th in Arlington. So once the night gets wrapped up, we'll have a little bit clearer of a picture on how the wild card is going to look tomorrow morning when you wake up and read it wherever. So real quickly, let's go down the scores. Washington, as we mentioned, big series with Atlanta. Washington 4, Braves 1. That game in the top of the 9th. Steven Strasburg, after a rain delay, another fantastic job out there. You know, you hope to not see this guy get shut down, and if he does, you hope to see him pitch in the postseason because his stuff is just so electric. You know, he attracts viewers every time he pitches. The Nationals' attendance has been better, but it's really good when Strasburg pitches. So, it's just something to watch out for. Cincinnati's up on Philadelphia, 5-4. That game's in the top of the 9th. Texas just scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th. So that game now Baltimore 5, Texas 3. Milwaukee 4 over Chicago Cubs 0. That game in the bottom of the 6th. The White Sox are leading the Yankees at U.S. Cellular in the top of the 8th, 6-3. And those Astros that could use Roger Clemens or use any pitching, down 7-0 to the St. Louis Cardinals. That game in the bottom of the 7th at Busch. Arizona 5, Miami 2. Looking like a possible slugfest out in Chase Field. Minnesota leads Oakland 1-0. That game in the bottom of the 1st. San Diego leads Pittsburgh 2-0. That game in the bottom of the 1st at Petco. Felix Hernandez will not throw a perfect game tonight. He already gave up 2 hits in the 1st inning, but remained to go unscored. The Indians didn't score off of him. 0-0 that game in the bottom of the 1st at Safeco. And the Giants, the big series of the week, have hopped out to a 2-0 lead over the Dodgers. That game at Dodger Stadium. The Giants winning last night 2-1. And real quickly, getting to that game, that was such an entertaining game to watch. You know, usually pitching duels are kind of ho-hum. You know, they go back and forth and whatnot. But, I mean, 2 of the best lefties in the game. And Madison Bumgarner, he's just one of the most underrated pitchers in the game. I mean, the dude can ball with anyone. You saw him go head-to-head with Clayton Kershaw last night and beat Clayton Kershaw. The only run the Dodgers got was off a home run off of Sergio Romo that Hanley Ramirez hit in the 9th inning. A cheap run, if you want to put it that way. But, you know, great showing from the Giants last night, and they can show that when their pitchers are on, 1 through 5 down that rotation, they can go head-to-head against anybody in the playoffs. I mean, you have a struggling Tim Lincecum who someday he's got to find it. I mean, he's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, for goodness sake. He's going to find it one day. So don't worry too much about Tim Lincecum. I know we've been saying that all year long, and I know it really hasn't gotten any better. We've seen some glimpses of Tim Lincecum from his Cy Young Award winning seasons, but really hasn't been the same guy. So that's something to watch out for if you're the Giants. Matt Cain, Madison Bumgarner, Ryan Vogelsong, who's, you know, going to be in the Cy Young conversation as well as Cain. So definitely a very solid San Francisco Giants rotation. And then you mix in Barry Zito, who seems to have a complete game shutout every 3 months or so. So that helps you along the way. Bullpen for the Giants, even though without Brian Wilson, you know, it has struggled a little bit at the back end. Santiago Casilla, Sergio Romo have split time at that closer role. But, you know, I really like the Giants heading forward in the NL West, but Dodgers only a half game out of the wild card standings, and that's where we're going to go right now, the wild card standings. So both those teams possibly could be playing baseball in October. American League first. Tampa Bay and Baltimore, they have the first 2 spots. Oakland only a half game back. They're playing Minnesota right now. Detroit won. The Angels won. Detroit's 1 back. The Angels are 3.5 back. You know,